Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pete Shinnick. And Coach, congratulations. The Tigers get their first CAA victory in the books for the second year in a row, beating a William & Mary team that was ranked in the top 15. And this was a crazy football game with the Tigers coming out on top 34-27. We'll start. Sean Brown was the quarterback to start the football game, which some people were surprised by because Carlos Davis had been the starter. What went behind that decision and rate Sean's performance?
Sure. No, we went into the bye week really giving both guys an opportunity to just kind of see where they were and see what they could do. Felt like in the North Dakota State game, I thought we played a really good game, but I felt like we left some things on the table. And felt like we had some opportunities there that, Carlos just kind of left out there. And so felt like, schematically we had some looks that if we could have taken advantage of them, might have been a different outcome in that game. And so obviously you take that, you change a linebacker out, you change a D lineman out, nobody really thinks much of it. But you do the quarterback, and obviously it's the lead question for the conversation. And went into the bye week and said, hey, we're going to compete. We're going to see who, moves the offense. We're going to see who directs it, takes the right looks, makes the right reads, makes the right checks. And Sean really just picked up right where he left off at Villanova. And so, made the decision really last week, going into probably Wednesday, Thursday, finalized it. And then said, all right, we're going to go with it. And very pleased with how he played. I thought his decision-making process was spot on. And I think, second play of the game, he hits a seam route to, I think it's DK. And you're just like, okay, that's what we need. We need that quick decision-making. You saw him hit Zay Perkins on a third down, just plant his back foot, throw the ball, get it out. It was 3rd and 8, and we get 16 yards. So pleased with how he played. Carlos still a very good quarterback. I told him on Thursday he's got to practice and prepare like he's a starter because anything can happen at any point in time, and he needs to be ready to go. So he handled it well, and he was doing a great job on the sideline, encouraging and being a great teammate. So we feel like we got two guys who can play. Sean's just playing a little better at this point in time.
In this game, we saw Sean hit John Dunmore twice for touchdown catches. And John is a guy that was injured last year who I think he could have made a difference in last year's offense, and he is a difference maker for this offense.
Yeah, actually, it was interesting. He had transferred in, and he was a double transfer, so we were kind of waiting on the NCAA to clear him, and they didn't clear him until the last week or something like that. So he definitely could have. And he is a difference maker, and he is a matchup problem. And I think what you're seeing is obviously everyone knows of our tight end, Carter Runyon, and they are trying to squeeze him and vice him and, get two people on him. And what that does is it opens up. We saw, Jason Doss early on. We've seen John Dunmore now get more into the mix. You've seen DK James. You've seen Sam Reynolds. You've seen Zay Perkins. You know what I mean? And so what is happening is now people are going to, have to decide, where do I put my people? What do we do? And because we were able to do that, William & Mary is a team that traditionally is putting 7 men close to the box. So they're going to have one free guy because they love their coverage out there. Well, we started getting them to get that extra guy out of the box, and then you start handing the ball off, and, Devin Matthews goes out and doesn't return, and Tyrell Green comes in and really just put on, he was a one-man show there. In the 3rd and 4th quarter.
You just took my questions away. The one thing from a defensive side, William & Mary came in one of the best rushing teams in the country. I thought you guys did a great job of shutting down that run and forcing them maybe into some uncomfortable situations for themselves.
Well, they don't want to throw the ball when they have to throw the ball, and I think you saw how elusive their quarterback was, and that was our main concern. If we got into a throwing situation, how do you contain him? I thought our defense was spot on. I think really ever since, the adjustments that we've made from Cincinnati to, really Villanova was a great running team. We were able to, keep them in check. North Dakota State, same thing, keep them in check. William and Mary rushed for 426 yards, I believe, the week before. So to hold them under 200, they were dialed in. And I mean, our guys are playing, I think, lights out against the run right now. And then, we held them to under 50% completion percentage. And really, I think their guys made 3 fantastic catches. I thought we had really good coverage, and when a guy's reaching behind him to, make a catch, you're like, okay, he's covered, but that's a heck of a catch. So, no, I'm very pleased with what we're doing. I think, that starts with the defensive line. Ernie Smith was our defensive player of the week.
Played a great game.
Yeah, he really did. And, I think he frees up, all those guys behind him to play at a high level.
Well, speaking of teams that like to run the football, you're going to see another one this week in Norfolk State as the Tigers travel down to Virginia. And they've got a 2-man punch of King and Evans. They've combined for 781 yards rushing through the first 7 games, and they average 6 yards a carry.
Yeah, they're very similar to, the guys that we've seen. And obviously last year, I mean, we had tremendous trouble stopping their they ran the power on us probably 25, 30 times. I think they rushed for over 300 yards last year against us. I think we're a completely different defense this year. The changes that we've made and the guys that we've gotten in have really been excellent. And, I expect us to play a whole lot better. But they're two really good running backs. And, I mean, if they get in the open, they can go. And you've seen that whether they're playing Temple, whether they're playing, Hampton, whoever they're playing, you've seen those guys get it. So we've got to be able to stop the run. I think that's obviously the key to this game, as it was last week. I think if we can do that, we can get them off the field. We've played really 3 teams in a row that just love to hold on to the ball, play slow football, and again, credit our defense. One of the best things I loved about the game, even though it was early on, is they win the toss and they say, we want the ball. And the reason they want the ball is because they typically go on 8-10 minute drives. You know what I mean? We force a 3 and out, and then we come right back and score points on it. It's like, hey, we just flipped your script for you. So.
And a big one for Keegan Vaughn to make that field goal.
Oh my gosh, 49-yarder, and I didn't realize this till I read one of our press releases. Didn't know that he went career points over 200 by kicking those extra points there, getting 10 points in the game. So congratulations to him. That's awesome. He was our special teams player of the week winner as well.
There you go. Well, the Tigers will take on Norfolk State this Saturday. Gordy and I will have the call on TowsonTigers.com starting at 2 o'clock from Norfolk, Virginia. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Pete Shinnick, I'm Spiro Marikis, and the Tigers going for 2 in a row. You haven't done that yet.
I have not, believe me. I've been reminded numerous times, so I appreciate that.
They're going to get it this week. Tigers and Norfolk State, 2 o'clock on Saturday. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Football Report.